Hi everyone, my name is Ifeanyi Cecilia, and this undoubtedly is the love of my life. Please tell them who you are.
My name is Cecilia, and this is my lovely husband. This man has been chasing me all over the world. All over the world. From Lagos to Abuja, and then from Lagos to the UK. That's true love. True. If your man cannot do that for you,
Kick him out. No, but yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is, like, we had become friends, and then all of the things about value, my friends, my partner being my friend, my spine being, being aligned. We genuinely actually were enjoying doing stuff together. Yeah. It's so funny because one of our favorite things to do in Nigeria was grocery shopping. Do you remember that? So like we absolutely love doing grocery shopping together. Like,
every Sunday after church.
It was our thing. So like finish from church, drive into the mall, shop for groceries for the house, maybe get takeaway food on some days, and then just go home and chill. Like.
So after he chased me down
proudly
from Lagos to Abuja, because I had to go to Abuja for work, and he came to toast me. Actually came to like ask me to be his girlfriend in Abuja because he lived in Lagos. We both lived in Lagos at the time, but I was in Abuja for work, so he came to Abuja to ask me to be his girlfriend. And then I feel like a year and a half later, I got a job in the UK, so I had to leave, and he refused to follow me to the airport because he did not want to cry and embarrass himself with the airport.
Yes, that one I willingly admit. Although I would have, at the end of the day, when I thought about it, I would have preferred to go to the airport and then end up crying.
In the airport?
Yeah, I would have. When I thought about it after she left, I actually would have preferred if I had followed her, even if I ended up embarrassing myself and crying my eyes out, because she was leaving. I should have done that at the time, but it was okay.
We've made up for lost time.
By God's grace, it's been 3.5 years now since we've been married. So
but like after I moved, we planned. I think I moved in November 2019. Yeah, and then we planned on getting married in June 2020.
Yeah,
and then
the pandemic hit.
So we didn't see each other for a year until actually November, when I went back to Nigeria to surprise him. So when I went back to Nigeria, our wedding was supposed to be in December, but I went back like a month earlier. I didn't tell him that I was coming, and I surprised him.
You see,
we have that video. I don't know if it's
when they say it'll be your own people that will do you, it will actually be your own people that will do you, because this surprise was planned with her by my best friend, his wife, and my younger brother. My younger brother and I were always together at that time. We had an event in church on the day she landed and went to the house to surprise me. And he was just, I was wondering, like, why is this guy being all
everybody being weird?
Like, what's going on? But then it's one of those things, that surprise was absolutely special. That surprise I would not trade for anything in the world. Like, I would take 100 more of that surprise today at that time when it happened. Like, it was amazing. It was special.
Yeah,
it was completely unexpected because she had packaged.
Yeah, because it was a year. Like, we literally spent a year apart. Like, so we're like in a long distance relationship for 1 year. We actually did our traditional wedding. Like, I was on Zoom. He went to my parents' house in the village, and I was on Zoom because the airports were closed. So like, it was long overdue for me to see him. And then we had our wedding in December. It wasn't much of a problem because like I came on a work visa, and my office was willing to sponsor his visa. So I came back to the UK January 2021.
Yes, January 21. I think it was January the 3rd.
Yeah, and then within like a month, because you came the next month. In February.
I landed February 21st.
So, his visa process was quite fast, and
I think the interesting part about the application process was all the instructions were laid out as clearly as possible on the government website. What we did was to try and follow everything as requested to the latter. They wanted excerpts of like our message exchanges, our wedding certificates, pictures together. And, you know, we had spent so much time together building memories, doing all kinds of different stuff. So we had so many different pieces of evidence to put together to submit for the application process.
And then our friends too, you know, also wrote like a testimony of our love sort of thing. So his parents, your sister, my parents, my sisters, some of our friends.
I mean, so it pretty much was straightforward. One thing I respect about the institution of what the UK does is, you know, as soon as you meet the requirements that are put, you know, on paper, there's usually not much of a dispute. They just want to understand everything pop and clean. If you're able to do that, then it makes the application process easier.
Sometimes if they like reject your application, they tell you why.
Yeah, they actually give you an explanation as to why your application is rejected. They'll let you know, what changes you can make to make sure the application goes through, you know, the next time. And I think I respect them a lot for that. It's not one of those situations where they leave you in the blind just so that you can reapply. They take your money again, reject you again. They actually don't do it that way. You get a detailed instruction of what to do to make sure that you scale through the next steps. So I think for us, it was one of those things where we were lucky enough to have the backing of a strong institution where she worked at the time. All the requirements, we put them together, proofread them multiple times because, you know, we didn't want to be apart again at that point. We had already done 1 year apart. It was painful for both of us. We wanted to be together. So when we proofread those documents maybe 3 or 4 times. I think on the 4th one, I finished the proofreading without her. She's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes, don't worry. I had help with somebody who had applied."
Because I wasn't going to be doing long distance.
Marriage. I had help at the time with somebody who had applied, gotten his visa approved. So he guided me on the final process, and then we submitted the application. And a few days later,
So that's our story.
And there's more to this story, but that will be for so many other different videos. My advice to everyone: when you find your person, doesn't matter.
Chase them down.
Chase them down. Hold on to them tight. I owe somebody money for satellite subscription. I was supposed to pay for it, but I used his money to go and look for my wife.
That's a very different story. It's a very interesting story, but it's very interesting.
I repaid the money. At that time, you know, the satellite products he wanted me to get were not available. And then True Love was knocking on my door. So I used his money to go and chase True Love. And then I repaid the money to him, and, you know, he was able to get satellite products. So I'm not a criminal.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi guys, my name is Daniella.
And my name is Sesan.
So our love story,
aka Mr. Bills. That's it. Let's go. Come on, over to you.
I have no words for him, but it's okay. We love him all the same. He said I do, so
yeah.
We don't have a choice at this point.
It's too late.
I can't refund him. I can't get a refund.
Yeah.
Anyway, our love story, we met. So I'm a British citizen. I was born and bred in the UK. And then I moved to Nigeria when I was 12, and then moved back when I was 16, and then moved back to Nigeria in 2015. I did my national youth service and then decided to stay in Nigeria and continue working. And then I moved back to the UK because of some health challenges. And the year I moved back to Nigeria, my very first day at work, I was minding my business, trying to get used to the system. And this handsome human being walks past my office,
come on,
and then does a double take and comes back into the office. Hi, my name is Sesan.
That's me.
And we started talking from there. We didn't immediately start dating because something. In fact, it's a long story. We don't have time for that one.
No, I can tell you brief it.
I dated somebody else because he said he wasn't ready, and then that relationship ended. It's a long story. We'll have to come back to that. That's another story.
You see, in this life,
oh my God,
you have to be very patient. Thank you. Over to you.
In this life, say what you want up front.
Yeah, mom.
Anyway, as I was saying, so that relationship ended. We got back together. 6 months later, he proposed, and then a year and some change later, we got married.
That's it.
Yay!
This is where you put that.
You put confetti. Yeah. we were married for 2 years. We were living in Nigeria. Things weren't going well, and we made the decision to come back. Well, for me to come back to the UK, and then for him to join me. And initially we wanted to go to Canada so that we would go together because that was what I wanted.
But Canada was a long
But
trip.
yeah, it was a bit much. So there was no way that we were going to be able to do that without like coughing up to a lot of money. Whereas because I'm a UK citizen, it just made sense for us to come to the UK. So in 2021, I left Nigeria and left
with begging and prayers. She left
Nigeria. I was going to express that. Really?
Yes, that's the truth. With begging and prayers from my side and from my mom's side, my mother-in-law. Oh my God. But
anyway,
for God.
Thankfully, I heard the voice of the Lord and I had a dream, and I just said, in October 2020, we made the decision that we were leaving. And then fast forward to July 2021, I left Nigeria with lots of tears.
What's July or June? What's June?
It was June. My bad. Yeah, it was June. It's a month difference. It's
June.
Okay, no verse, Mr. Details. No verse. Anyway, so yeah, June 2020, I come back to the UK, and we had this plan that it would be a year later. I would have gotten a job, and then we'll start the application for him to come and join us.
And then Home Office give us a slap.
Give us buzzwords.
No, not time for you to come.
The mistake that we made was we didn't read the appendix on the Home Office website. So I thought that you needed only 6 months of total working, but I had 2 or 3 jobs within that 6-month period, and you needed either a whole year's worth of money. That was 18,600 at the time, but I think it's more now. So I needed to have made 18,600 within a 12-month period over multiple jobs, or in 6 months with one job. I thought it was over 6 months with multiple jobs, so I did the application. Now the Holy Spirit told me to wait, but because I was impatient and was missing him terribly, decided to put the application, and the application failed on that one thing. So please,
this life,
read everything.
Yes, read the fine print. Those tiny ones.
Read everything, because if you don't read everything, you will make that mistake, and it will be like the tiniest thing. And we ended up spending money on lawyers' fees for trying to appeal, and it was a waste. So we just thought, you know what, we're just going to stop here and just redo the application. Thankfully, things sped up a little bit, but we were separated physically for 2 years.
Yo, listen, it was hard.
Yeah, it was difficult.
It was challenging.
Because everyone was like, oh, why don't you go back and go and see him? I was like, yeah, I want to, but I can't. Like financial issues, it was a big thing. But thankfully, thank the Lord that 2 years, even though we were separated, with multiple phone calls, WhatsApp calls, just open communication, even if you're frustrated.
That days we fight too.
In fact,
there's a day we had one massive argument. Our friends, they had to intervene.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my God.
We thank God for our friends.
We thought that we were going to split.
Yeah, I thought I was just going to stay in the UK. He was going to stay in Nigeria. It was that bad. But thank God for God and for our friends. But
the enemy, what the enemy meant for evil, God has turned it around. See, in this life, always trust God, dude.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah. And always keep open lines of communication. If you know you're going to be separated for long, be honest about everything and talk through everything, and and pray. That was what we had to do. So, yeah, that's our story.
Yeah, so, and there you have it. Peace out. Come on.
You say what? Cut.